Morning.
Good morning. No, Vanessa, I think you have to connect the platform, the website to your headphone, the name of your headphone switch. No, we can't. We cannot hear you, Vanessa. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's open house. We are waiting for more people to join. Welcome, welcome. Benicia, if you're speaking, we don't have your voice. I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, she just left and she's coming back. More people are joining. I'm happy. We don't have your voice. No.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh,
finally.
finally. And that's without the headset. Okay. All right.
Good one.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you for your patience. What we're going to do is while I get in the process of sharing our screen, I'm going to ask my counterparts to do introductions. Shane?
Hello everyone. My name is Shane Malcolm. I am the Director of Career Development and Experiential Learning, supporting our students that are joining us in Toronto, Canada. Nice to meet everyone virtually.
Thank you, Shane. My name is Shima Jafarian. I am based in Boston, Massachusetts. I am the co-op faculty, the assistant co-op faculty supporting graduate students in applied mathematics and environmental sciences and policy. Very nice to meet you virtually.
And I'm Venetia Harrison Sanders, and I'm the Director of Graduate Co op at College of Science, and I am out of the Boston campus. So, welcome to our open house. We're glad that you're participating in this event to learn about Northeastern University's co op program. So what we're going to do is we've had introductions and just a little housekeeping. What we would ask you to do is if you have any questions at all, please type the questions into the Q&A chat box. And then we will be able to answer your questions at the end of our presentation, or we may be able to answer them in the chat directly. Now, for our agenda today, we're going to talk about the Northeastern University Co op program. We're going to answer the question, what is co op? We're going to give you an overview of our co op program, talk to you about what is required to do co op. We're going to talk to you about resources because Shane is actually going to talk about how, as a university, we support our students through the process, but also he's going to highlight some things. Both of us are going to highlight some things that we offer as far as resources for our students as we prepare them for co op and beyond. And then we're going to give you an opportunity to ask us some questions. So get those questions ready. But the first thing I want to find out from all of you is, how did you find out about Northeastern? What made you interested to come to this open house to find out more about Northeastern? And actually, where are you joining us from? If you could put that in the chat, that would be great. because we're always interested to hear about, how you find out about Northeastern. Were you referred by someone? Did you have a family member that went to Northeastern and came and graduated from one of our programs, or a friend? Was it an advisor that recommended you from your undergraduate studies? Or maybe you're somebody who's an industry professional that's looking to advance your career. And maybe you had a colleague that actually attended Northeastern and completed our master's program. So the first thing I want to show you is this is our graduate co-op advising team in Boston. There's myself. I'm the director of graduate co-op. I also the senior co-op faculty member, and I also work with PhD students as well, because Northeastern has created a pathway for our College of Science PhD students to complete a co-op as well. And then also I'm the faculty co-op coordinator for our Oakland students. So for any of you that are going to be applying to go to the Oakland campus, um, I'm the faculty co-op coordinator for that campus currently. And then this is actually the graduate co-op team for our Boston location. We have Alex, we have Barb, Michael, and Shima, who you just met. And all of us as a team at Northeastern, we work with our students to support them during their co-op process. Now I'm going to talk to you about our Northeastern University co-op program. So the co-op program is something that is embedded in the culture of Northeastern. For over 100 years, we actually just a year ago celebrated our 115-year anniversary. It's become a world leader in cooperative education. We're actually listed as number 1 in the US in regards to ranked number 1 as having a co-op for our co-op program. And it's the cornerstone of our experiential learning at Northeastern. And as I mentioned, it is embedded within our culture, and it's basically the fabric of our community here. Now, what is co-op? That's a question that obviously comes up. So co-op is a work experience in your field of study and an opportunity to put into practice what you learn in the classroom. So imagine, as a student, you enroll, you take classes your first semester, you take a co-op prep course that'll help you prepare, where we usually will have topics related to resumes, cover letters, professionalism in the workplace. So imagine having an experience where you're actually applying what you learn in the classroom in an actual position in your industry of choice. This is a true return on your investment as a student, because they obviously could lead to potentially full-time opportunities after you graduate. The co-op experience is an opportunity for you to apply that knowledge, know and understand what it means to work in the biotechnology industry, work in bioinformatics. Also, some of you may be interested in applied math or environmental science. There's opportunities that are a vast amount of opportunities that could be offered in many different industries where you can apply that knowledge, learn different skills, build on the skills that you're gaining within your coursework. Now, these are some of our employers that we have relationships with: Merck, Moderna, Mass Department of Environmental Protection, IBM Watson, Novartis, Mass Clean Energy Center, Dana-Farber. So that's just a few of our employers that we have relationships with. And we engage with these employers in many different ways, where they could either hire our students for co-op positions. Some of them participate in panel events, whether it's in the classroom or through our Career Design Center. And then also we have something that's called Talent Connect, which is equivalent to a career fair, what it allows you to engage with our employers one-on-one. Now, we also offer workshops. So it's a part of your preparation at Northeastern and a part of the resources that we offer. We have a career design office, and we have career service specialists that are available across our different campuses to assist you virtually or in person when it comes to your career planning and development. So these are actually a list of some of the courses or not necessarily courses, but workshops that are offered through our Career Design Center. AI for Advanced Job Support Series, so finding your professional identity. This is a workshop that assists you with using AI with more than just telling it what to do, but using what it is you know about yourself, obviously, and building on it and gaining leverage from that. Job Search Study Hall, which is a virtual co working for your career goals. So, this is an opportunity for students to dig deeper into their career goals and their career planning by thinking about what it is that you'd like to pursue and coming away with tangible goals and tangible tasks that'll lead you to making successful decisions. We also have resources that are specific for our international students. As we know, the process with work authorization is something that's needed in regards to support, and then also just in regards to the job search. So, one of those programs or workshops that we offer is International Student Job Search. There's key resources that are discussed in this workshop, strategies on conducting a successful job search, and then talking about work eligibility. So, essentially, what it is that you need to do in regards to work authorization, in regards to forms, any type of advisement that you would need in regards to authorization and your eligibility, and then immigration policies that would be applicable to you working outside of campus and also on campus as well. And then another workshop that they offer is Beyond Job Titles, how to focus your search. So, obviously, you may have many different interests or not sure what your interests are. But this allows you to be able to narrow what your interests are. So you're just not applying to various positions, but making educated decisions about the type of opportunities that you want to apply to. So, experiential learning and co op. Our co op program allows students to gain confidence needed to move towards their goals with blending your studies and professional experiences. And that's ultimately the goal. Our goal is to provide you with the tools and the resources to be successful. And as a team, we provide this across our different campuses. And our students are able to do one co op experience in the following programs. And here you will actually see the list of the different programs and which ones offer the ability to do a co op experience on which campuses. We have dedicated graduate co op advisors on all our campuses as well. And then normally our co op positions are typically paid, which salaries range from, and they vary, obviously, depending on the program, the major, also the company, because they're the ones that establish and determine what those salary or those hourly rates are. Now I will do a co-op overview. We'll talk about what is required, when to do co-op, how to secure a co-op, and then from there, my colleague Shane Malcolm will go into to talk about how we provide you with what resources we provide you, how we prepare you, and he'll talk a little bit more about our Toronto campus. Now, what is required to do co-op? You need 16 credits of coursework completed, which normally is 2 semesters, because in order to be a full time grad student, Usually it's 8 credits a semester. You must have and maintain a 3.0 cumulative grade point average. And then also, you must take and successfully pass and complete our Pathways to Professional Success course. Now, our Pathways to Professional Success course is actually a course that, and I mentioned this earlier, that provides you with the tools and the resources in order for you to apply for positions. And one of those topics that we cover is, like I mentioned earlier, is resumes. We cover cover letters, professionalism in the workplace, and then also tools and resources that you could utilize in order to conduct a job search. So, one of the tools that we do offer is an internal job board, where across the university we have our co-op faculty and also our partnership development team that works very hard to develop opportunities for our Northeastern students that you will be able to apply to directly on our portal that is open to only Northeastern students. And then we also encourage students to utilize the skills that you've learned within the course to also independently apply for positions as well outside of the database. Because we also know that you have a network of people that you probably have worked with before, or even classmates, or peers, or alumni, or even family members and friends that also could assist you with that as well. And we also teach in the course, the great ways to network and who to network with as well. And now I introduce my colleague, Shane Malcolm, who will talk about co op career and experiential learning on our Toronto campus.
All right. Thank you, Venicia, for that wonderful overview. Next slide. So as Venicia mentioned, I'll be just sharing for all of the students who are interested and Canada is potentially your destination, Toronto specifically in which we have our biotechnology and our bioinformatics programs from the College of Science. You would be interacting with me, the team here that is here to support your co-op and career goals. So next slide, Venicia. So as a career development and experiential learning team here in Toronto, we support our COS students throughout the full life cycle of their career journey with us. And so what does that look like for us? Really, that looks like everything from career coaching, where you are assigned a dedicated graduate co-op advisor that will be working with you to kind of navigate all of those conversations. Many of our students are either career switchers or they're upskilling from their undergraduate degree, and obviously grad career pathing is a lot different than navigating your career in those first early years as an undergraduate student. So we're here to provide that personalized one-on-one support to kind of help you find your way to where it needs to go. And what does that look like? We also support you with a resume and cover letter support as a team. You also get dedicated support from your grad advisor to support things such as interview preparation. So we work hand in hand with our students as they secure co-op offers or co-op interviews. We work with them to get their confidence right, help them understand how to present and articulate the skills that they've acquired both through their academics, but also what they may be taking in from their previous careers or professional lives. We also support our students through the full support around job search strategies. So how do you navigate, whether it's a Canadian job market specifically for our students working with us here in Canada, how do you navigate the Canadian job market? That might be very different from how you navigate that within your home country for international students that are studying with us. We also support and manage the full co-op life cycle. So managing co-op approvals, we will be doing midpoint check-ins for students who have been approved to go out on a co-op. We do check in with the employers halfway through the co-op journey to ensure that everything's going well, the employer is satisfied with your experience, and also to get any insights that we can to help you improve and ensure that you're navigating your career, your co-op very successfully. And so we support you throughout your co-op. So not to worry, you are not approved to go on a co-op, and we let you kind of just go through. You have our support the entire time you are going through your co-op experience. And as Venicia mentioned, we do offer a full suite of co-op career and experiential events, really helping you to kind of bridge that classroom knowledge to industry and to get you career ready. Next slide. And so next slide, I'll talk a little bit about for those, again, coming to Toronto, these are the two wonderful support staff that you will have walking alongside you on your journey. Jean D'Souza would be your graduate co-op advisor here in Toronto. And Julia is our experiential learning specialist, and she works with our industry partners as Venicia mentioned, procuring those co-op opportunities, experiential opportunities, as well as anything that allows us to bring that industry closer to you. So bringing industry guest speakers into the classroom on campus for you to really exercise and kind of expand your understanding of the life sciences and the biotechnology ecosystem here in Toronto and Canada specifically. Next slide. And one of the ways that we work through this, we've created Co-op Accelerator programs. So that is a career community that we've established in Toronto that is dedicated to the students that are sharing the career journey from a similar experience. So our Co-op Accelerator program, is a co-curricular initiative that's run through my department that allows and supports our students in addition to the prep course that Venicia mentioned. This is meant to support and round out those additional opportunities for skill building, competency articulation, and for more career preparation. And so these are very tailored. So we have 3 streams, particularly for those on this call. You'd be only interested in our BioLife Accelerator, and that's programming that is geared to our students that are both within our COS programs as well as our other life sciences program here in Toronto. And on the screen, you can see a few examples of workshops that were just done this past fall for our students enrolled in our program. So navigating networking is always something that our grad students can always benefit from, whether it is that you're an international grad student for the first time studying in a North American context. It's really helpful to kind of understand how do those mechanisms for expanding your social capital actually work within Canada or North America, depending on where you're from in the world. We've also offered bridging lab and workplace, translating scientific training into industry success. And also a very popular workshop and conversation that we have often is our alternative pathways in life sciences. So we all know that no one career is a cookie cutter experience. So really unpacking these different ways that your prior experience, your desired end goal in your career, how does that all support the program of study that you're in your grad journey, and where does that lead you, and what are the pathways does this lead you to? And then, for example, AI in healthcare is a conversation that we always have, and given Northeastern's strategic investment in AI, it is something that we also make sure that is very ingrained in our programming to give our students that cutting edge experience as they enter the co-op job search process. Next slide. So just as another expansion of the types of activities that you would see here in Toronto, we just hosted our AI in Life Sciences Hackathon in collaboration with the Ontario Brain Trust Institute, CanPath, LiveBit, and the Ontario Institute for Cancer Research. Our students were engaged in a 48-hour cross-disciplinary hackathon experience. So you're working with students in project management, other data analytics programs on our campus to really present to solve the problem that was kind of presented by this hackathon. The 2 winning teams actually, the top 2 teams actually, then as part of their prize or of their accomplishment, actually were then taken on a exclusive Ontario Brain Trust Institute experiential trek where they got to work and meet with the senior leaders there and do a tour of their facility. So lots of meaningful ways for you to really engage and understand the industry and the spaces that you're trying to get into. Next slide. And things like our hackathon and all the industry and professionals that we bring into our spaces would not be possible without our robust connection to the life sciences corridor here in Ontario, Canada. Currently, we have over 75 life sciences partners spanning pharmaceutical companies, biotech startups, contract research organizations, research institutes, and food and technology innovations. And those things speak specifically to the activity and the industry growth that is happening here in Toronto and in Canada in general. And similar to Venecia, we engage these partners through co-ops, experiential treks, guest speaking, and really bringing that rich industry experience to our students. And as you can see on the screen, some of the partners that we work with actively, Apotex being one of those premier partners that we work with for co-op roles and beyond. Next slide. Okay, I think that was it. Thank you.
Welcome. So are there any, I'm hoping that we all have, questions that you'd like to ask. Obviously, this is the opportunity to do that. We're so glad that you're here and you're able to join us. So let's actually go to our chat. Okay. I'm from Texas. I've never attended a virtual graduate open house. I'm exploring my options. I'm ready to go to grad school. That's amazing, Melissa. And then is there a program that you're interested in? We would like to hear which programs you all are interested in as well. And then we have, I am Mercy from India, and I got to know about NEU by my interest in master's programs. Great, great, great. And then Ishan wanted to do medical school at OU in Athens, Ohio. Realized I was better at variable tracking from a data perspective within a biomedical perspective. Had a professor recommend I look at NU midway through my program. Amazing. It's nice when we have faculty and professors that are supporting us through our journey, who are able to provide us with some insight and some advice on our next steps. Amazing. Do you accept co-ops regionally? So if you mean if we develop co-ops regionally and outside of Massachusetts, sometimes we do, yes. And then also too, we encourage students to independently search for co-ops. And because we have, our campus in Boston, we have our campus in Oakland, California, we have Toronto, and we have Portland, Maine. And we do have students who do have co-ops that are outside of Massachusetts as well. Or can I access all co-op opportunities? Yes. So the way that our database is set up that I mentioned previously is we have a database, it's called NUWorks. And we have people who across the university, across all campuses, and also a partnership development team that works really hard to develop opportunities for our students. And NUWorks is the tool or the resource that those jobs are posted that only Northeastern students have access to, where you'd be able to apply for positions. And then there's other tools as well that we obviously encourage students to use to conduct their search. One is LinkedIn, which is something that is talked about in our Pathways to Professional Success course. And then there's also Handshake as well. I recently got admitted into Master's in Bioinformatics Boston. Congratulations and welcome. I would like to know the chances of students getting a job or internship from the field of bioinformatics. So we do have many opportunities that are developed for our students. And, one of the things I will say is that it is competitive. But we do work very hard to develop opportunities for students. We have students who have done co-ops at EMD Serono or Merck, Dana-Farber, some of our institutions. We also have students who have done co-ops in the finance industry, actually, who are bioinformatics. And that's essentially because maybe the finance company has a relationship with life science industry. And then they need someone with that background. Okay. Do all students get a co-op opportunity if they meet the requirements listed in previous slides, or still some students fail to get a co-op even though they have a GPA of 3.0? So a co-op is not guaranteed. However, we do work really hard with the students um, to develop opportunities. And then also, as I mentioned, we encourage students to utilize the skills that you're learning in the course to do a search on your own. So a co-op is not guaranteed, just to make that clear. Can those without co-op or internship experience be less qualified or have difficulty getting into one? Okay. So all our companies are very different in regards to their needs. Um, so essentially, what happens is, you have some companies who may say, okay, we're interested in a student who has had an internship or a co-op before. There are some companies that'll say, oh, well, we're open to students who have no experience because we want to train and we have the bandwidth to train. So it really depends on the company and what their needs are in regards to, the qualifications that they're looking for. They make the determination on what their needs are, but they vary across all companies. How often do co ops convert into full time opportunities after graduation? Um, Well, it varies from year to year because there are many things that would speak to that. One is the job market, obviously, and the other is the needs of the company and the employer in regards to what their headcount is, what their needs are, what their budgets are for hiring. So that is going to vary from year to year. So we can't give like an exact number. What's the percentage of students available to get a co-op per term? What's the percentage of students available? So if you mean, I guess I need clarification on that question. Do you mean how many students are looking for a co-op every year? Is that what you mean, Jean? Okay. So that varies from semester to semester also, or cycle to cycle. And also based upon campus, and also programs. You're welcome. Next question. In your experience, what are the things which will get a student to not get a co op, even with meeting all the requirements? Oh, I love this question. And then Shane can probably tap into this as well. So essentially, a part of your preparation obviously is, you having a 3.0 GPA, the 16 credits, and taking the professional success course. Sorry. Um, so, you have interviews, right? So it's about how you're able to market yourself to employers. The other piece is how you do post interview as well. Um, Things that could make or break you actually get it an offer. So, for example, a thank you note, right? There are students who will do an interview but won't send a thank you note. And that could be a determining factor for an employer on whether or not they offer you a position. Um, and then also, it's about, you also being honest with yourself, especially like during the interview process and how you present yourself. Okay. University work really hard to prepare you when it comes to writing a resume, how you present yourself in writing and verbally. And it's important to know that employers know and understand what your skills and abilities are. And you being able to speak about your skills and how they could convert into the workplace. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Shane? Or even
Uh,
Sheena?
Yeah, so I can, so really great question. And so the one thing that we definitely make sure that is very clear for our students to understand in transparency, co-op is a competitive process. So it is not a placement, not because you're in a program that offers you co-op. Shima or the advisor isn't necessarily saying take this student and put them in a job, so that and we support you in ensuring that when you get to that stage, as Vanessa mentions, of talking about the skills that you have, as you would do for any interview or selling yourself in terms of selling the value proposition of why take me as a student to do this work, that remains the same. And that also mirrors the reality that we're trying to prepare you for in terms of the job market that you'll be navigating outside of your time here at Northeastern. So one thing, Vanessa, I always say, just because I think students sometimes take that as, oh, I'm in the program, co-op is given, I've met these check marks, so I'm expected to be in a co-op. The actual co-op placement follows any normal recruitment process that the employer makes a decision around who they hire, and they're fielding applicants from not just Northeastern, but any other institution or students that are pursuing that. So it is very clear to really understand, it's very important to understand that distinction, so that work. So to that point of students that are interested. So there are students that technically meet the criteria for co-op, but may not choose to engage in co-op. So that's also a thing where not necessarily checking all those boxes necessarily means every student is interested in taking on a co-op experience. Shima, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add to that, but.
Complete, it's the employer who decides about the qualifications and who they accept the applicants, or the type of if it's they want an undergrad or graduate student and why. And we just connect the students to the opportunities and help them navigate and learn and become more professional. And if they need any help or advice, we're there to support them, especially when it gets to salary negotiation or the interview phases of the job search. You're there to support them. They can book appointments with us to have mock interviews before their interview with the company. But we are not actually putting them or placing them into a co-op position. It's the company who decides about the qualification and the
Yes.
requirements.
Yeah, so thanks for clarifying that, Shane and Shima. That, yeah, like I said, before, that co-op is not guaranteed. It is an option for students to pursue and apply, and it is the companies that make a decision on who they're going to hire for these opportunities. And then let's see. Have there been challenges? Oh, okay. I forgot one. I have heard about Northeastern's pre-co-op opportunities. Okay, so pre-co-op opportunities, depending on the campus, is something that's offered for students, where you'd be able to do a pre-co-op or an internship the first summer after your first year. And that is something that students, it's something that's optional that the students would independently pursue on their own. Okay. Have there been additional challenges for international students to secure a placement or a co-op? So we're going to, it's not a placement, but it's an employment opportunity. And then, yes, there are some challenges. So I would say one would be companies that are not able to hire international students due to they're requiring that they be a U.S. citizen. And that's a lot of times our government employers. And then we also have some of our employers as well that look for, that hire international students because they're looking to convert our students to full time, but because they may not or can't guarantee an H-1B visa or work authorization right after you graduate, they may not hire international students. I hope that answers your question. Okay. What makes a student stand out for co-op? How do the expectations differ between MS students and undergrad co-op applicants? Okay. So as I mentioned, every employer is different in regards to what their needs are, and what it is they require. So one of the things that I could say that could stand out to an employer of an undergrad versus a grad student is some of our undergrad students may already have one or two co-ops under their belt already, where they may have had an internship, when they were in high school. Um, so it really depends. But I would say that's one of the things that definitely could stand out. But one of the things I, also like to mention is that, our employers, it really depends on the needs of the employer and the company, because they may decide that, some companies may possibly prefer that they may want someone who they want to train completely from the beginning. But that depends on the company, as I mentioned. And there are some companies that may say, okay, we would prefer to have someone that has one or two co-ops, mainly because they may not have the bandwidth to do the full training. And they may want someone who would just come in and do the projects as needed. And they may be needing an advanced level of skills and abilities in a student. So it really depends, and it could vary. How do outcomes post-graduation differ depending on, oh, it just jumped. Oh, okay. Depending on completion of co-op. Is there better full-time job placement? Okay. So one of the things I also want to clarify is that there's not a, we don't, although we provide resources for you to do a job search, we don't actually place students in full-time jobs after you graduate. But we provide you with the tools to conduct those searches, which is what you learn in the class. Um, and I would say that a student who has work experience, it obviously increases the chances of getting a full-time position. And again, it really depends on the company and what their needs are. There are companies that hire students that have 0 to 2 years work experience. So it really is going to vary based upon the company.
Venicia, can I add things?
Yes, you can.
Yes. So as Venicia mentioned, we are not actually placing the students for co-op positions or even full-time positions. But during the class time, you are doing mandatory assignments that will help you develop your skills in networking, in doing informational interviews, in doing activities that would eventually add skills that are necessary for your a job search in the future. So these classes are not only for finding co-op opportunities, but also it goes beyond co-op positions and it applies to your full-time job. So yes, if you have a co-op experience, internship experience, or work experience, it actually adds more network to your current network. It adds work experience. It will be added to your resume, which is helpful for your next job or next position that you're applying. But during the class time, you also get a chance to network, and the resources that we have at Northeastern, like the networking events or job fairs that we have, you are going to find networks, and they will actually help you a potential position for your full-time job.
Thanks for that, Shima. And then the next question, how many internships can a student do in a master's degree program? So students are only allowed to do one work experience, and depending on the campus, you may do a pre-co-op or an internship the first summer after your first year. But you only could do one co-op work experience. What opportunities do students from biotechnology get for co-op or full-time jobs? Well, it varies. So, we've had students who've worked in clinical operations. We've had students who've worked in process development. We've had students who have worked in, some of the hospitals within lab positions. So it definitely varies in regards to the types of opportunities that students get for co-op and full-time. In the field of bioinformatics, to get a job, is there any need to have prior experience? Again, as I mentioned before, it really depends on the company and what their needs are. Some companies may be looking for a student who has some experience. There are some companies that are able and willing to train students. So it really depends on the company and what their needs are and their bandwidth and the projects that they have, because they may require some level of skill and ability and experience. What are the type of co-ops available internationally? So that would vary as well. And something I like to mention in regards to that, that, we have some grad students that do co-ops internationally. We do actually have a department that supports the paperwork process for it. And then there are also opportunities that are developed that we have as well. And then, I would say that those are also competitive, but there are some opportunities. Like I've had a student who actually did a co-op in Australia. I had a student who did a co-op, I believe, in Brazil. I had a student who did a co-op in Germany. So it really depends. It really depends. And some of these students have developed them on their own as well. Okay. Are there any other questions that we have? And then where are some of you joining us from? Like what parts of the world? Very curious to see that. Virginia, wonderful. And if we also like to hear which campuses you're thinking about wanting to pursue. Taiwan, okay. Okay, Boston, going to Boston, from Nigeria. Accepted for MS Biotechnology. Congratulations, Anastasia. Welcome. Hopefully you'll decide to join us. Boston. Okay. And then for the campuses that you're thinking about applying to, what are you looking forward to most in being in that location? Potentially. Cybersecurity in Toronto. All right. Wonderful. Where are others joining us from? What can you inform us about the Global Co-op program at Northeastern for graduate students? Okay, so in regards to the global program, we do have positions that are posted that would be available for either undergrad or grad and undergrad. We also have a department on campus that assists students with information as it relates to the visas and what you need in order to get a work visa in that country. We also provide information and resources in regards to countries that, the restrictions and also the safety, anything related to the safety and going to those countries.
And Vanessa, I could add to, for those interested in global co-ops too, that process is probably also starts a lot earlier, just given the fact that if you require a visa to go to the country that the opportunity or that you're thinking of looking, then you'd have to add a few more steps back in order to make sure that that is something that you have enough time to get the required visas and all of those things in place if you need it. In Toronto, I can say for any student, we've not had any COS students really taken a global co-op opportunity, but in any other program that we've had a student take on a co-op opportunity globally, especially for those who are international learners to Toronto and Canada. Typically, it's easier if they're going back to their home country because taxes, work authorizations are given as a citizen. But if you're going somewhere else where you are not a citizen of and you would require visas to work there, then that is part of the support that Venetia is referring to from the Global Co-op team to ensure that those things are in line and ready in order to be able to even apply or accept an offer from a company internationally as well.
Is acceptance rate for international students in co-op is least? Okay. Do you mean, so you're wondering about the numbers, Manny? It really varies. I can't pinpoint numbers and percentages in regards to that because there are so many things that are a factor on whenever it comes to how many students actually get positions. So it's really kind of hard to say. Okay. And then do any of you have any questions specifically about, I guess, the locations themselves, like Toronto, Boston, Portland, Oakland? For those of you that are coming to Boston, are you looking forward to the snow and winters? And also Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, is Boston safe? I feel I'm safe in Boston. I definitely feel like I'm safe in Boston. Are there homeless attacking students? I've heard of no incidents of that. I have not heard any incidents of homeless people attacking our students. Is it easy to get a part-time job on campus in Boston? I wouldn't say it's, I think getting any type of job, it can be challenging. In regards to positions on campus in Boston, it really depends on what the needs of the departments are, because I would say that we have a student employment job board where our different departments would post positions. So there is a resource to actually search and apply for on-campus part-time jobs. Okay. Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? Is there any application fee waiver for international students? That I'm not sure. That is a question that you'd have to have for the admissions department. They'd be able to answer that question for you. Okay. Okay. So we have 2 more minutes. So if you have any additional questions, put them out there. Oh, you're very welcome. And hopefully we were able to answer all your questions. Just know that with Northeastern, across our campuses, we have the support to provide you with an experience and with the tools, training, and resources that you need in order to conduct educated job search and to be successful at your career planning and development. and we thank you for joining us. I'm glad you found it to be very helpful, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you at one of our campuses. Thank you.
Thank you and bye.